Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The following is a paid political broadcast. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this forum are solely those of the participants of this event and do not represent the views of the management and staff of Radio Cayman.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listener participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. If you're watching us on YouTube or streaming and if faces look familiar, yes they are, but we've added a few as well. So you'll hear more about those faces as soon as we return. Please stay tuned.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your host, Orrett Conner. Those of you who joined us this morning, if you participated, you will see some familiar faces in the studio, and we're going to continue the conversation that we had this morning. We have added another face, no stranger, but a new face to this discussion, and that new face is Mr. Heyman Rankin. Previously this morning, and we have in the studio with us again this afternoon Miss Jeeva Richards, Mr. Jordan Rivers, and Miss Dawn Thomas, all from the Cayman Islands National Party. So I'm going to say good afternoon, welcome to Talk Today for everyone, and we can start the conversations going, whoever wants to kick it off.
Good afternoon, everyone. Heyman Rankin here, your candidate for Bodden Town West. Thank you for having me on your show, OC. Thank you to my fellow candidates for being here with me as we start this conversation this afternoon.
Sure.
Okay.
So thanks for having me back. We're back again. Pleased to be here to keep the conversation going and perhaps pick up on a different thread than we had this morning. Mm-hmm. But you know, to certainly touch on just a few more topics that we have facing our country.
Yep. I'm happy to be back here. I'm going to give a little shameless plug. I was not paid for this, but I could do with a Welly's roast chicken right now on this wonderful Friday, but here we are having
this. Jordan, I'm going to have to take you to Mr. Graham Rankin's house after this and get some good old Cayman food. Well, apparently you're leaving.
We're coming.
Me and Graham have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
What is his self-title? The Political Animal. Yeah. Big up yourself, Graham.
Yeah, and I'm Dawn Thomas. I'm back in the studio, so I want to give a shout out to all the people that are listening. And if you missed this morning's session, it was very much about immigration, and we talked about job opportunities for Caymanians. And I think this afternoon we're going to take the session in a slightly different direction. My teammates are all here. We're going to shake our heads. We're going to talk about maybe hit a bit of the budget.
Okay.
We're going to talk about healthcare and pensions. So if anyone wants to kick that off, or do you want me to start?
I think you should go right ahead and
For it,
start, since
yeah.
you have the mic now.
They always give me the hot seat. Let Dawn go. So let's start, right? The Cayman Islands government makes $1.1 billion a year. Yet every 4 years, or every year that goes by, we see the same issues. And we know them all, so I'll just rattle some, but not all. You know, cost of living is on the rise, education needs reform, healthcare, pension, job opportunities for Caymanians. In addition to that, we have a number of looming crises. We've got the waste management system that needs to be. We've got a utility crisis on the brink. We potentially have a telecoms crisis, as far as I can understand. Everything is leading. In the last 4 years, I think, our social and economic welfare has increased 50%. So we know that poverty is on the rise, which all poverty leads to crime. So that all, but yet the Cayman Islands government makes $1.1 billion a year, and nothing seems to be getting addressed. They managed to find additional money in the budget for all their little pet projects and all the things that you want to do, but us, the people, never seem to benefit. Even now, as we have this $26.2 million deficit that we're facing by the end of 2025, I would dare to say, and I don't know if my colleagues will agree or disagree, that the people haven't even benefited from that $26.2 million deficit. We seem not to be getting any best benefit from anything. So it doesn't matter how much the budget increases. We just seem to have a government that never prioritizes us, the people, and gets to work on solving our issues, and never seem to prioritize us, the people. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. It doesn't matter if we have fiscal prudent people and we end up in a surplus, because as you've all heard from the leaders' debate the other night, we've been in many circumstances where there's a surplus. But yet the people haven't benefited. We're still having the same issues. And the more that goes on, money gets spent. We're in a deficit now. So the opportunity to solve some of these crises on the new government is harder than it's ever been before. We talked about the income. In addition to having that income of $1.1 billion a year, they've also managed to borrow from as far as we can see, another $500 million in debt. So that's a loan to be repaid. And I'm just hitting the basic numbers here, people, today, just to sort of lay it out there, and then I'm going to let my teammates take off. The other thing is we have a liability, and everybody knows what a liability is. It means I owe somebody some money. That one liability alone on healthcare and pensions is $3.1 billion. So given that is the state of where our country is at right now, and given the fact that the people that were elected to serve us has managed to forget us, and we are seeing and feeling the pressures of everyday life, how is it the next government has to come in and be extremely financial prudent? And I don't mean to throw my teammates in here, but if any one of them wants to jump in and talk about how we're going to do that.
Yeah. So before we get into all of that, Dawn, would you say it's mismanagement? Would you say it's incompetence? Or would you say the government, just the past and present government, just doesn't care about us? Or do you think it's a combination of the three?
I think it's a combination of all.
Okay.
Sounds like a lot of experience is what it sounds like to me.
I would say bad experience.
Yes.
Well, that's why we're all here, isn't it?
Indeed we are. So I just want to look at a post, because you touched on a couple of things. So 4 days ago, I made a post on my social media, and it was an amalgamation of some of the headlines that we've seen over the past couple of months, since I think last year, November. The first one reads, Government accused of late and inaccurate accounting by Auditor General. That's the first one. The second one, Government slammed for unsustainable spending by outgoing auditor. The third one, UPM leaves next government at a $26.2 million deficit. To me, this shows a clear path of mismanagement, not caring, and also the third one, which I just mentioned, which is incompetence. I genuinely do not believe that Cayman has been in the hands of people who are competent, who care, and can get the job done. And that's why I'm sitting here before all of you right now, working together with you to try and deliver the change that Cayman desperately needs. We need prudent people. We need experienced people. We need people who are not afraid to roll up their sleeves and work hard for Caymanians. And, I mean, Jordan, are you ready to work for Caymanians?
I'm born ready.
Jeeva, what about you?
Yes, today. Let's get it going. It is.
Dawn?
I already showed up for work.
Right. we were ready yesterday.
Yes.
So on day one, we're ready to hit the ground.
And I can safely say that our leader, Dan Scott, is also ready.
Yes.
The rest of our party is also ready. We're ready to serve the people of these islands. We're equipped, we're experienced in doing things the right way and getting the job done. So I just want to say that before we really get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into it, we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Feeding a crowd? Subway Catering makes it easy. Choose from freshly made sub and wrap platters in 2 sizes, or go for individual boxed meals, complete with a 6-inch sub, cookie, and chips. Perfect for groups of 15 or more. And don't forget dessert. Our freshly baked cookie platters come in 2 sizes, so there's always enough to go around. Visit www.subway.ky to view our catering menu. You can call or email us to place your order. Then choose to pick up in-store or get hassle-free delivery. However you cater, we've got the fresh flavors everyone loves. Subway. Eat fresh. Cater with ease.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. Oh, don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Bodden, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Bodden. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
The nation listens. The candidates speak. Subway presents the General Election Debates, live in studio on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and 93.9 in the Sister Islands. Every Monday and select Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. 2 sessions, 1 powerful discussion. With Election Day fast approaching, hear what the candidates have to say on the cost of living, housing and development, economic growth, sustainability, education, transport, tourism, immigration, and more. Who has the vision? Who has the plan? Hear it all unfold live, unfiltered, and on the voice of the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and 93.9. Streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Visit Radio Cayman's social media pages for debate details. Brought to you in part by Cayman Enterprise City, Reflections, UCCI, and YUM.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio with me this afternoon, we have some of the members of the Cayman Islands National Party in the studio with us, Mr. Jordan Rivers, Ms. Dawn Thomas, Mr. Heyman Rankin, and Ms. Jeeva Richards. Talking this morning, we had a conversation mainly about immigration policies, immigration legislation. This afternoon, we're talking about finances. Mainly. May get on to other things as well, but right now, finances. I think, Ms. Jeeva, you were ready?
Yes, I was. So I'll pick up where Heyman and Dawn left off when it comes to finances. You know, Heyman spoke about incompetence or not caring. And one of the things that we have to remember is that, more importantly, our people do not deserve the burden of the debt that we have, that they have, that our children has,
and their grandchildren.
Exactly, especially in a country where we can boast such revenues. You know, better management and better prudent spending of funds on our people to benefit the people on the ground. We were talking just a minute ago about. It's great to have public open spaces and parks and wonderful things. But when you're spending $10 million on a park, but people around there don't have homes and don't have jobs.
They don't have roofs.
They don't have, exactly.
They don't have floors. So many flooding, and the park is in the middle.
Exactly.
It's a monument to your ego.
Correct.
And it's probably going to be more than 10 million.
Just like the school is going to probably be more than 50 million.
Yeah. As we all know, government never has a project on time or on budget or under budget.
Correct. But you're building a park in an area where people deserve to have a park, but you've not addressed the main issues that are affecting them. So for us, budget must be spent, but it must be spent on the people and the needs. We must have affordable housing, again, is a big issue. And in East End, we've managed to build minimal housing in the last. Yes, they're building them now, but it's taken years to get here. I want to say at the end of the last administration, there were 7 that were in progress. And I want to say we may have added 5, and don't quote me on this, but certainly not more than that in the last 4 years. Yet the wait list for affordable homes is like 700 people.
And $10 million could have at least built 40 to 50 of them. Why didn't we spend $10 million on 40 to 50 homes?
How do we justify that to our people, right?
What do we say to those persons who may ask the question, are any of these projects then at risk if you become a part of the government?
I think we have to be fair in terms of where we're at as a country. I think, let's be honest, any new government going in, I know we've spent time looking at the existing budgets as a group because we did it on Monday. Yes. Remember, team? We were there.
Oh, yeah. Many hours. Team efforts, though, right?
Team efforts.
Yeah, yes. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. But where we're at is we have to get in and understand if that is the true position of where we're at. As you know and we know, every day that there's a news article out about more spending and more spending. And the magic number seems to be millions, never 90,000, 50,000. It's millions, millions, millions. Now, whether those numbers are included in that $26.2 million deficit, we do not know. We don't have visibility of that. So the new government going in definitely has to take an assessment of where we are. Then we have to sit down and we have to prioritize the initiatives for which we're going to tackle first. Because as you've heard, as everyone's heard over this campaign trail from everyone that's running, all 58 candidates, the country has a number of issues. And those issues didn't just appear overnight. They've been there from the beginning. The new government, when CINP gets in, we're definitely sitting down to the table. We're prioritizing. But at the end of the day, this is what we're going to do differently. We're going to prioritize the projects that benefit our people first.
Yes.
We're going to look at the areas of high risk that we need to have either solutions on the table to solve infrastructure issues that we need to solve right away. So, for instance, one of the things might be, not saying it is, might be the East-West Arterial Highway. That may be an infrastructure project that we have to prioritize. It may be sitting down and coming up with a new deal for waste, the dump, sitting down with the utility company and coming up with a plan. We need to come to the table and get a better landscape, an internal view of the land, listen to the CIG, hear them, and then make some priorities. But those priorities will be communicated. But at the core of what we are going to do is we are going to put our people first.
Absolutely.
Right. So what you're saying is, as a government, we're going to prudently look over all of the expenditures, all the options, and actually have the conversations with the stakeholders, whether that be from the private sector or from the public, and I mean the public, instead of just signing contracts because someone laid it in front of us.
Pretty much.
I think that sounds how government should be run, guys. I really do think that's how it should be, but we haven't had that.
Yeah.
So therefore, this is why I think all collectively, the four of us and the rest of our team, the other 8 members, have brought ourselves here. We've realized that government just we don't, and we all can agree with this. We do not have a money-making problem.
No.
We have a spending problem.
Yes.
We have an
Correct.
accountability
Yes.
problem. We have a transparency problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you like how it is. We have a character problem in government because you don't got to be the sharpest tool in the shed as long as you got good character. We have a lot of educated people. Now, to give you a little old West Bay thing, I've said this for years. We have a lot of people inside of government, with a lot of, especially elected government, with a lot of sense. Just a lot of dirty sense, good dirty sense. Now it's time we put people that got good sense and actually mean the best for the country.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what the Cayman Islands National Party has done. If we wanted a team of 19, I'm pretty sure Dan and them could have had that 3 times over.
Yeah.
But you all went through the same screening process I had to. And we are here because we met the criteria of what it looks like to have good character, to have good principles, good morals, and an understanding of the everyday problems. We all live it.
Yes.
We all live it.
Yes.
Oh, see, if you had one of those buttons that go pum 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 pum, that was the moment.
We'll do them post editing.
I have a question because I know some of you have to go off and you're going off for the issue of postal ballots.
Yes.
And we have seen internationally now this whole idea of creating mistrust about the electoral system and creating mistrust about the results. And even in Cayman, when our 2009 constitution was on the referendum as to whether or not the people wanted to accept it, and it was passed by an overwhelming margin, we had politicians who voiced their doubts about the credibility of those results. So my question to you all are participating in this process, going in there, participating in the issue of postal ballots. When mobile voting comes along, you will have your agents there and everything. What are your views in terms of how the process is run in the Cayman Islands?
I'll take that. And then everybody else can add on. But I'll be honest with you, OC, and I will say that I actually have very good confidence in the elections office staff. And I think they run a really good ship as it relates to election day and the process of voting and the issuing of ballots. And, you know, it's unfortunate we've seen them take that additional step and perhaps felt like they had to also issue a notice just yesterday, I think, that now candidates are not going to be allowed to participate in mobile voting. And, you know, and it could be for undue pressure to voters, etc. But I do feel that in general, and I'm, you know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but in general, my opinion and from being on the ground in previous elections as well as this, because I've been an agent, I've been a super agent, I've been all of that, and it is very, very transparent in terms of how to do it. And I do feel that I personally have confidence that, but what I do feel is previous candidates were very selective in terms of what benefited them. They didn't doubt the votes that were cast for them or the other candidates, but on the same ballot, they questioned whether or not the person voting for the referendum was accurate. So clearly it's selective in that regard. But what I do feel is that there are some areas of the election law or election process that could be reviewed and clarified because, you know, we're in this process and it's certainly the first for all of us as new candidates. And there's some things that I do feel clarity could be, you know, provided on, and certainly some areas where support or enforcement.
Okay, let me take the commercial break before any others who may want to answer as well. Ms. Susan, throwing it back to you for a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. But I know where I going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Kirk Freeport's Easter at Bayshore is back. Hop over to the Bayshore Mall on Saturday, April 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. for an extra special Easter celebration. Meet the Easter Bunny, enjoy sweet treats, and join the fun with the scavenger hunt, chocolate prizes, plus face painting, games, and more. And the best part? It's all free, including free parking behind the Bayshore Mall. Visit KirkFreeport.com for details. Happy Easter from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. My pleasure to have in the studio with me members of the Cayman Islands National Party, Mr. Don Thomas, Mr. Heyman Rankin, Ms. Jeeva Richards, and Richards. I'm thinking about how
Don't let her husband know.
And Mr. Rivers as well. And I've been getting that wrong from this morning. Before we went to the break, we were talking about the electoral system and just getting the candidates' views, on that as well. And then, of course, we had to go off to a commercial break. So, do we want to continue along that line?
I think I'll just say something briefly. I think
sure.
I've had other than being a voter myself and going to the booth and ticking a box, and I've had very little exposure to the elections office. So far, the limited exposure I've had, they've been very professional, and I would say I have confidence in that process. As I'm walking my constituency, though, I think if there was one thing that comes up, which I'm not quite sure of, is the actual voters list. I don't know when was the last time we actually checked to make sure that these people are actually, when we did a house to house, or how the validity of the data in the list, because I've been to houses and the people haven't been there in 12 years, or the people that are in the house now have been there 12 years, and they don't know anything about the person's name on the list. And I've had some inconsistencies in the number of people that are in a household that aren't in a household. So there's just little things like that. And I think I brought them up to the elections office, but those are things that I've flagged for myself for sure. And I'll be watching on elections day but I do say, going into government, one of the things, if we do get in, that's what we should tackle. We need to go back to validating the actual list, just to make sure. I mean, people that are Caymanian that are off island are still entitled to vote, of course, but we just need to get into that, because it just is some things there that just seem odd.
I agree. And I've even seen, to take it a step further, I've seen people who are deceased that are still on the list, OC. So it does bring some questions into play as in terms of the process in which is being followed, the validity of the data, and, I'm pretty sure there's some excuse that can be used as to why those names that I've seen, that you've seen, Don, that all of us have probably seen,
right?
even other, members running for office. But I think that that's a good opportunity to highlight one of the solutions that we will be proposing with the Cayman Islands National Party that will address a lot of problems across government on a whole. And that is really incorporating technology into the bedrock of government. Being able to ensure that we have accurate data is paramount. And being sure that governments, departments from across government are interlinked and they communicate is so important. Because if you have a system whereby, we actually roll out a national ID system that has your certain verified information, name, address, whether you're alive or not, this simple information could be linked across government, right? And we've spoken about this. We've debated. I think me and you have debated this quite a bit, Don, because we're both, very techie, and really pushed for this in the party. And in doing so, we've come up with our, when you see us with those binders and different things, that is the brainchild of 12 individuals sitting down, really putting our heads together, getting consultants to come and feed data into that whole process and make it work. So when I say to you that we think, the Cayman Islands National Party thinks that it's a very smart way to go about ensuring we have a transparent government and a government that is more efficient and could help reduce issues in different processes.
Breaking down silos.
Yes, you have to break down silos, from immigration to elections office to education, like you name it, right? When an individual goes away, and I know we spoke about education earlier today, but when an individual goes away on government scholarship, right, they're coming back without a job, OC. Why is that? Why aren't we linking the education system with work and immigration to ensure that no work permit is going to be issued because we know that one of our kids is coming back with a doctorate and they're a qualified doctor and they're ready to get into a hospital. You know what? We have the data. Everything is linked. No permits will be issued until this Caymanian has a job. And that can apply, like I said, across government. In this instance, I think the elections office could use some of that technology as well to help make sure the list is accurate.
We only have 25,000 people on the voters list. I don't understand, for some of the differences I'm seeing, I don't understand how it's not more accurate. I think we've all experienced various things. I think we talked about it off the table. But at the end of the day, it's 25,000 people-ish. That's an easy number. That's a large Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Anyway, and it's even easier if you break it down by constituencies.
Correct.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not a hard problem.
No, but they need the support, they need the resources, and they need a government that's going to ensure these things are put in place to empower them to do it, right?
One more question on election line. Right now, the elections office falls under the governor's office, right? There are persons, some closely affiliated with some of your candidates here, I won't call names or anything like that, who have called for us to have an elections commission that will be the umbrella body for the the elections office and the supervisor of elections, rather than it being, while it is not under any ministry at this point in time, it is still under the government, and to have an independent organization, an elections commission, as opposed to it being under the governor. And I'll just add a little tidbit to that. In the past, we have had governors and supervisor of elections, then supervisor of elections, Mr. Colonel Gomez, had to convince them otherwise, who wanted to basically go out and visit polling stations during the voting process.
Oh, wow.
And the UK must be seen to be
Impartial.
Completely absent from
Yes,
that process.
absolutely.
So do you, any of you have any views in terms of the need for an elections commission that would be.
I will say this: I am in favor of any process or facet or addition that adds more transparency to how we do things in this country
and trust
and trust. So I am, and I don't, and I'm just to say that from that general standpoint. It doesn't have to look like what we're talking about. But anything that builds that trust back with the people and brings transparency, I'm here for it. Because at the end of the day, if I wasn't running for office, I'd be a voter. And I'm telling you, I want to see more transparency here. So whatever that looks like, I'm for it.
And you're still a voter.
Yes.
Yes, you still are. Yes, indeed.
It's
candidate and voter.
Yeah.
Right. We all are. And here's the thing. That means that we have double interests. You know, we are representing our, seeking to represent the people as representatives and candidates. But we are also voters. So we have a vested interest to ensure that whatever is put in place to increase that transparency and trust in the system. And so. Sorry, Dawn. Just to add to your statement about the 25,000 voters, right, and it not being a large number. The question we need to ask is, why isn't it larger? Why are there not more people? And the question comes back. I've heard, Jordan, this I'm sure from the young demographic that you're
just as recent as last night.
They're saying
no trust.
We don't trust that we're not registering. I have encountered people, regardless of the drives that we do, regardless of how we encourage them, they don't trust the system,
and
they don't want to be. They don't want to participate.
They don't want to participate. So just to plug it all, we had a youth rally last night where we invited all of the young people out to the Hive, and most of the candidates were there to interact with them. And hearing them speak and hearing this feedback was very, very important. And they felt we gave them an opportunity to speak freely. We shared who we were, but listening to them, and that the number one resonating thing that came out was the lack of trust in government. So that means that none of the officials to date that they've seen in their time, which is in the last, let's say
20, 30 years.
No, they're young people. Like
it was 18 to 20.
Oh, you met 18-year-olds.
So
most of them met it was 20 to 30. Okay.
To make it an average number. Yeah. They haven't seen anyone that gives them any confidence in government, and that says a lot.
That sounds like part of why I'm running. So I'm representative. Sorry, Haymond.
No, go for it.
But they're willing to step up now and say that what we. They've seen their opportunities diminish. They've seen they're trying to get jobs and no opportunities. They've seen a number of things, the issues just compiling, and they've experienced it more than anyone, and it is them that is affected the most. So I can understand why they don't have any trust in government and why we're working very hard to win that back.
But how do you restore that trust? Do you think it could be restored by more young people getting elected to a parliament, more young people serving as ministers or parliamentary secretaries and doing a good job of it that will incentivize those persons to say, you know what, something, I want to be a part of that.
I'm gonna give a little shameless plug here. Yes. Vote for Jordan Rivers #4 on April 30th. That way you have someone from your generation that understands your trials, your tribulations, what we're going through, because part of the reason why I ran is because, and I said this as recent as last night again, I've looked up in Parliament for years, and I don't see a single person that represents my interest as the next generation. So thank you guys for that.
I'll take it a step further as well. It's not only about, people from our generation, OC, voting for us. It's, even for the older generations, you have to realize we are that bridge between.
Be careful how you say older, and I'm sitting over here.
The more seasoned generations, right? We're not only here to look out for people of our generations, and the future generation of Cayman. We're also here to look out for you guys as well.
Yeah, for the current generation.
For the current generations, for the elderly, and we're also here to look out for your grandchildren and the future generations, your bloodline. That's why we're doing this, because we've seen time and time again what the past and present government has led us to, and it's not a pretty picture. It's not a good path that they've led Cayman down, and if we continue doing the same thing over and over, the grandchildren of today and next year and the year after, they're not going to be in a good place to enjoy Cayman and have a piece of Cayman for themselves. You know what's more than likely going to happen, Jeeva? they're going to have to leave, because I'm hearing that at every other house I go to.
Well, here's two things. I'm going to add that, for the younger generation in terms of restoring trust. It is, yes, seeing more of them stepping forward and willing to say, put their hand or hat in the ring and say, hey, I'm gonna run. But also getting them involved early, getting them involved in whether it's committees or at the community level so they understand the process, creating visibility so that they can see it's transparent and they can build that trust and we can get that back on.
Yes.
And to quote Dan here, I think that's why we didn't create a separate youth council. Correct. Because at the end of the day, we want them at the table.
Yes.
We don't want a side table for the kids.
Kiddie table.
We don't want a kiddie table. We want them at the table. For some reason, we have stopped listening to them and their voices, and we need to bring them back. We need to build that back. I said to a voter last night, she says, I wish I could be registered, and talking to her at the end of the night, and I said, that's okay. Listen, over the next 4 years, we're going to work really hard to win your trust back. And every time, this youth rally or this youth thing is not just tonight. You're going to be able to meet all your MPs. You're going to be able to have many meetings with us and just you. And we're going to give you a seat at the table where you can contact us, talk to us directly. You're not going to become that body of people. We're going to actually continue to reach out and have those conversations.
Okay, folks, we have to go to our headline news at 1 o'clock. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jeeva Richards. Big cash boost for policing. During Cabinet's March 20th meeting, Cayman's elected leaders approved several budget items, including supplementary funding to the Office of the Commissioner of Police to the tune of $7.7 million. The increase was spread across the line items Crime Prevention and Protection Services, Crime Investigation and Criminal Justice Services, and Policy Advice, Administrative and Support Services. For the full Cabinet summary, you can visit gov.ky. In regional news, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court of Appeal has rejected an application by Michael Prest for permission to appeal to the Privy Council, affirming previous rulings that upheld the validity of his 2021 arrest for the alleged fraudulent conversion of over US $2.5 million. The St. Kitts and Nevis government has welcomed the decision, highlighting its commitment to upholding the rule of law. And Trinidad authorities have detained 9 individuals, including 5 Venezuelan nationals who entered the country illegally, while also seizing firearms, ammunition, and drugs during targeted raids. In a separate operation, police shot and killed a suspect after he allegedly pointed a firearm at officers during a high-speed chase. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jeeva Richards.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
Cruise Lines control
how passengers spend their money, from shopping on board to taking the lion's share of pre-booked tours. That means less business for Cayman's tour operators and retailers. A pair won't change that. Instead, it just gives cruise corporations a bigger stake in Cayman's tourism industry. If we want a stronger economy, we need better deals for Caymanians, not more power for cruise lines. Vote no on April 30th.
Cayman's economy should serve Caymanians first. Save our Cayman. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have about 9 minutes left with our guests in the studio with us. Members of the Cayman Islands National Party, Mr. Jordan Rivers, Mr. Don Thomas, Mr. Heyman Rankin, and Ms. Jeeva Richards. One of our listeners have written in and said, what I'm hearing from your guests sounds promising. Will they be willing to reduce the MP's salaries if they get elected? And they have spoken about this before, and they all agree that they would, as well. So I'm saving them a little time so that they can talk about all of the other things that we want to talk about in the meantime. Over to you, folks.
Yeah, thank you for that, OC. I'm going to step in here because I know we're going to change the tempo of the conversation in a few moments here. But Jeeva and I do have to go. So I'm just going to plug all my things real quick and then get out everybody's hair. You can contact me at 938-8668. That number again is 938-8668. I've been stressing this. I'm going to continue to stress it. I have 1,427 people to go and meet. I am one person. So please reach out to me if you like me, like what I have to say, like what you're hearing. Reach out to me. I want to meet as many people as I can because irrespective of the actual April 30th, I'm still going through that list after that and hitting every person that I did not get to touch during this campaign, irrespective of where I find myself. You can also follow me at Jordan Rivers for West Bay North, which is Facebook. It's jordanrivers.wbn for Instagram. That's jordanrivers.wbn for Instagram. I'm going to say this and because I know we're about to transition to the elderly here, so I'm going to touch the youth one last time here. Guys, I got to keep on doing it. Whoa. Anyway, the guys, listen. We cannot afford to make the same mistakes that our ancestors have made. We have to think different. We have to act different. This is not a system any longer that we can afford to subscribe to when it comes to your parents forcing you who to vote for. You're an independent person. You're 18 years old. If you do not like what you see, do not subjugate yourself to that. We are moving forward with this country. The persons that have caused all of the problems in this country physically cannot, and literally cannot be the ones to undo them, because if they were, we would not have the problems we have now. We've got two new parties here, guys. We've got one that no longer exists and one that's on the brink of extinction. Let's drive that nail home, guys. Come on now. Let's drive it home. This is a hot Friday, okay? I don't mean physically, right? But all I have to say is that we are going to be the ones that inherit whatever debt our predecessors have left us. And if we are going to inherit that, we need to have a say with that. All right? Get yourselves involved. Get yourself registered. I know that the next election is 4 years away. The best time, as Dan would say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. Get yourselves registered because 4 years is going to fly by. And I can tell you because I'm getting up there in age now.
No more youth.
Yeah. When you hit a certain point in your life and your life gets busy, time flies by. I remember when I was sitting in the White House 4 years ago helping form government with what we saw was the previous administration. I did not think that I'd be sitting here 4 years so quickly. But here I am. Time flies, guys. Get yourselves involved. Get yourself active on every level, from the ground straight to the top. I'm here, I'm accessible, I'm available, and I want to serve you. Because like I've been saying, I have not seen a single person there that represents my interest as the next generation. Love you guys. You all have a good Friday. I'll see you all soon enough. Take care, Cayman.
Okay,
Yes,
Jordan.
thank you, Jordan.
Didn't leave much time for the rest of you.
Wrapped up. So for me, I'm going to just reemphasize what we were saying.
Yes.
You know, we have our Caymanian public not only wants and needs, but deserves good representation. They deserve to have a voice. And one thing that we have to be cognizant of, the tolerance, the expectation of being silent and quiet and accepting is no longer there. People want better lives for themselves and their families and for their generations. And that is what I'm here for. That's what we are all here for in the Cayman Islands National Party. So I will reach out. I will advise. My number is 938-1862. I can be reached at email jeeva.richards@caymannationalparty.ky. Reach out, because it is important to stay connected and to ensure that the future you want is the future you get involved with and make a decision. So your chance for change and your chance to improve things is on April 30th.
Okay.
That's our future. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank you for being here,
All the
Jeeva.
best.
Closing?
Closing? Okay. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm going to thank you for having me today, and I want to thank the listeners that are listening. And
I had you practical all day.
practically on a Friday. That's
Yes.
amazing. And I just want to close in saying this, that the Cayman Islands National Party is here about change, and we have not contributed to any of the issues that are currently being faced in the government. We haven't contributed to any of the problems. We don't have any failed plans. We're not bringing any baggage to the table. We're not committed to whatever existing contracts or things that are in place. We're promising you that we're going to look at it with a brand new eye getting into government. We're going to come to the table. And at the end of the day, the core of what we are there for is for the people. And we said that it's going to be people before politics. And we're going to be true to that. And because we've proven that as a team amongst ourselves, we know that. But it's time, and we're sharing that knowledge with you. And you have to realize that that's what we're here for. And I can't make you do that, but you can see that. You've had people say that their experience and their leadership and they're proven. You've heard all of those, but have you actually seen it, or have you actually felt it? And if anyone answers that they have yes, then I'm willing to have a conversation with you directly. My number is 925-0998. You can also email me at dawn.thomas@nationalparty.ky. In addition, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going to repeat my number, 925-0998. Red Bay, I am making my rounds, but I'm obviously, it's 1,400 plus people. I can't get there. I'm asking you, if you still have some doubts, if you're undecided, I'm willing to come to the table and have the conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Rankin.
OC, God is good.
Yes.
All the time, right?
Yep.
And all the time, God is good, right?
Omnipresent.
Yes, sir. I just want to thank God for allowing me to be here today, giving me another day of life. You know, I want to thank all my colleagues, Dawn and Jordan and Jeeva, for being here with me as well. OC for having me. Radio Cayman for allowing us the time to be on the airways. I want to thank the listening audience for listening to us for, it's been about an hour now. Thank you all so much. And I have the same sentiments as my colleagues. The Cayman Islands National Party is here to care for you. We're here to implement the change and deliver the change